morning. So thank you for coming out very much. We really appreciate that. We have some exciting announcements. And most importantly, an update on Q2030 and where we're headed from here. So as you know, we're really appreciative of the Esperanza Center for welcoming us here today and being able to have an event. The Esperanza Center is an extension of the Heritage Church, and it's a wonderful community-based asset that we have. One of the commitments that we've made with Q2030 that's come out of the big table is that we learned there are many fine organizations doing work in neighborhoods and in places that really weren't very well recognized before. And this is one of those great organizations, so we're going to make it a point to move our events, announcements, board meetings around into some of those areas like the Esperanza Center. So thank you for agreeing to host this morning. We're deeply appreciative of that. And this is a great organization that does great work in our community, and particularly in the Forest Anthony neighborhood. So thank you. I'm here really to talk to you a little bit about where we're going with Q2030. It was conceived about 5 years ago. We've had a lot of work that's going on. And one of the things we learned through this that you'll be hearing a little more about is things that came from our mid-course review. Joe Slavens will be talking about that in a few moments. But what we learned early on before the mid-course review was that we had a lot of energy in Q2030. But it was primarily a volunteer-led organization. We had some champions of different initiatives. And quite frankly, we were struggling with the question about long-term sustainability. How do we have long-term sustainability? And how do we broaden this? As you'll recall, we had the event, the big table, about, I think, 3 years ago now. And we brought out, there were a lot of people that came literally to the table, about 5,500 of them, who hadn't been invited before and didn't have a voice. And one of the things that came out of that is we learned a lot about a lot of grassroots organizations. And because of that, we decided if we were going to be sustainable, one of the first things we had to have was a more diverse and inclusive board. In addition to that, we needed to have some organizations that knew the community well. This is a community-based effort. And so we were mindful and we looked around the community for 4 great organizations who represent the breadth of the community. And those now have become what we call our backbone champions. We have a representative from each one of those here today, and I'd like to ask them to stand. Sherry Ristow is the leader of the Quad City Community Foundation. She's the CEO. Renee Gellerman is the CEO of United Way. Dave, I was going to say Heller, but it's not Heller. Sorry, Dave. Is in charge of Quad City. We were just talking about Dave Heller, so I have a brain lapse there. Is in charge of Visit Quad Cities, and has been a great addition to our community over the last 3 years. And then Paul Rumler, the CEO of the Quad City Chamber. So we selected those 4 backbone organizations, and they agreed to participate because we think they represent a breadth of everything we're trying to do in the community and what we learned in the first part.